My name is Lisa Allen-Agostini.
Hello, I'm Anu Lakhan.
I'm Laughlin.
My introduction to the work of Kamau Brathwaite happened at UE when I was a student taking an undergraduate degree in English literature. And I happened to be in class with Anu Lakhan and Laughlin. And it was a really intense experience of just discovering Caribbean poetry with two other Caribbean writers, two very different writers from me and the perspective that I have on my work. And they've been friends and been my readers and been my encouragement over these years. So I bless God for them, and I bless God for the work of Kamau Brathwaite that showed me how Blackness and Caribbeanness worked in poetry.
I'm not even going to pretend that I'm not reading this because I had to write it down. Professor Gordon Roulette taught us Kamau Brathwaite's poetry at UE St. Augustine. The tactile, the kinetic, the silence, and the nuance all became incredibly real. And the awful question of what a poem is, what is the shape and the sound of a poem, especially a Caribbean poem, is something I started to understand then. No structures but the ones that held up your words, and no real language but the ones that filled the work.
When I read Kamau Brathwaite's poems, especially his early poems, memory takes me back to my undergraduate days at St. Augustine, where I first seriously read Brathwaite in Gordon Roulette's class. That's also when and where I first met Anu and Lisa, and where I first began to grapple with the question of what a Caribbean writer is and can be, and what writers' relationships can look like, in the company of Anu and Lisa, and in conversation and argument with them. I've been thinking a lot about Brathwaite's insistence on literature as community, and on bringing writers together, which he did as an editor and publisher, as an organizer, as a writer of letters and emails, through the Caribbean artist movement, through Savaku. So it feels apt and very meaningful to share the reading of this poem with Anu and Lisa, writers who have been my friends and co-conspirators for almost my entire adult life.
Sunsong.
And so the drought has dried my tropic, my mellow suns, my fat banana green. Termites' wings visit me, spindles of tamarind leaves falling through yellow light. I walk in the streets of Easter's April, welcomed by crickets. The creak of cicada grass, dry as grasshopper husks.
Tips of the rain are star drops that listen, 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 but do not fall. Kiteers curved crashing to dryness, sticks crying to dust in the desert, the glistening sand in the distance. Our houses are snells. Deliver me cold skeleton, branched like bare trees, for journeys lit by stars.
My bones sing with dry honey, combs, bees burrow in cinder and ash. On its black crest of flesh, the harmattan rides, the flowers return to the fire. Trumpet, cock, cat, cattle call, triller, they are all alive in the fire.
Ears of grass grow out of the crackles of paper. Rips grope where the petaled heat passes, liquid. The raw, liquid, the yellow clearing. Consuming itself, the mouth eats air. The dark identifies itself with every gape. And flaring, crazy-eyed, our child grows thin with thirsty.
With thirsty knowledge. Where shall his history permit my cup of penitence to drip, when antelopes of hunger come to breed. His mother fears the knock, hears the dread rock steady beat of bailiff on her blood and board lock.
Out of moonlight, look out on howlers of starved dogs, limping cattle, fields burned to bleak anger, cinders of sweetness, cracked crystal, the stars tick, tick within your pregnant humus.
I would leave wood and dance. I would leave leaf, leave blood, leave citadel, leave house of bone. I would leave pool and dance.
Leave moss and musk and musty corner stones. I would leave stone and dance. I would leave dross. I would still say with scissor, spark. I would say, storm, Oludumare's conflagration. I would speak sperm and twinkle.
Spirit of the fire, red river of reflection, vermilion dancer, out of antelope. I summon you from trees, from ancient memories of forests, from the uncurling ashes of the dead, that we may all be cleansed,